Welcome back to another episode of EDH, where Lumra is probably the slowest turbo commander in the format. Today we are once playing on the critical EDH Discord, but this time we are playing with friendly players. As a side note, I talked to Kenan and we are good now. It was a misunderstanding and we are now homies, so nice to hear. Right? But before we jump into today's game, apparently it's normal to let you guys know if the content creator had his birthday. So I turned 27 years old on the 15th April 2026. And it's also normal, shout out to my boy Far North MTG by the way, that if this shit happens, you guys are obligated to subscribe to my channel because I don't know, I don't want your money, so feel free to subscribe or leave a thumbs up for the video. I already feel pretty awkward just talking about this, so let's jump straight into today's game. Today we have Jhoira, ageless innovator. Finally, a responsible player. This deck tries to untap Jhoira to put more and more ingenuity counters onto her, to put really good artifact like Chromatic Orrery into play, to then present infinite mana to afterwards close out the game with Blue Sun Zenith, drawing all his opponents out. Next, we have Kodama of the East Tree and Sakashima of Thousand Faces. This deck tries to double the Kodama of the East triggers to put permanents into play, ranging from making infinite mana with land ETBs into loops of Tireless Parishioner and Maloko to make infinite 1/1 blue illusion creature tokens with flying. Next, we have ROG, Son of Roga, and THRAS, Triton Hero. This Turbo Cradle deck tries to swarm the board with low CMC creatures and utility lands to create infinite mana and filtering that into THRAS to find a word with Final of Devastation or Fairy Mastermind. And last but not least, Lumra, Belle of the Woods, aka Ruler of the Wild. This mono green mid-range stacks turbo, whatever the fuck you want to call it, deck tries to win the game with land activations. We can try to create infinite copies of Lumra. We either ping our opponents with Sunscorched Desert, trample them to death with infinite 2/2 black zombie creature tokens, or draw them out with Gyreach Sanitarium.
Nothing for me. Yeah, I got one. I've got a gemstone. I'll get rid of a Chatterstorm.
Certainly changes things. Scalding Tarn, Crackler, Volcano, and cast Goblin Welder. Let's say go.
Everybody go on the Goblin Welder.
Yeah, no misstep here.
Misty Rainforest for a tropical, play a Arbor Elf. Pass.
Go. Play Roger. Play a Breeding Pool. It's just gonna be Thrasios. Sorry. I don't know why I was in the tank for so long. Go ahead.
Untap upkeep. Groverton, Snow-Covered Forest, then I will tap it for a Delighted Halfling. Then I'll move to my end with 4 cards in hand.
Draw. Heat of the Synod. Cast Jhoira. If it hits the board, I will pass.
Talon Gates. We'll phase out Jhoira, I guess. Doesn't really matter. We'll tap Talon Gates for a Soul Ring. 3 for a Somberwold Sage. Pass.
Play a Weather Top, play a Rhystic Study. That's good, I'll pass.
Untap, upkeep, Groverton, Conduit Pylons, Finger Legal Count on top. Tap for a Light Halfling, pay for Rhystic Study and cast an Amulet of Vigor. I'll move to my end step with 3 cards in hand.
Phase in. Oh, step so close to being to do something. I mostly phases and say go. I think we lose to Kodama right here.
What's in my hand, though?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, we were a little closer to losing because it was a land, but I still don't think you lose just because I'm like Value City in my hand right now, not Win City.
Everything.
Rhystic.
You got it. We'll go 3 for a Cabbage Merchant.
Rhystic.
You got it. Kodama trigger. I'll put a Wanshi Tong down. We're living in Avatar City over here, baby. And then I will pass the turn.
Play a Taiga. Play a Clever Impersonator. I'll have another Rhystic Study. I'll pass.
I'll tap 1 green, sacrifice 100 pounds additional casting cost, and cast Crop Rotation. Please don't be surprised why I did that. I didn't think it through. I thought for 100% that ROG goes for whatever reason for the Cabbage Merchant. I completely forgot he had a Rhystic Study in play. So shit happens, I guess.
Yeah, I'm
and Havenwood Battleground.
Draw.
It enters Amulet of Vigor trigger. I'll untap it and upkeep, draw a turn. I'll play a Crystal Wayne as land for turn. I will do the most obvious thing ever. I'll crack Crystal Wayne for 2, crack Havenwood for 2, my Snow-Covered Forest for together 3, tap Delight Halfling for 1, and then I'll use the 6 mana to cast Lumra. I'm fine to not pay for the Rhystic Studies. City of Traders, Echoing Deeps, Windswept Teeth, and Blossoming Tortoise. Windswept Teeth, Echoing Deeps, City of Traders, Havenwood Battleground, Crystal Vein, Conduit Pylons. We have an as it enters trigger with Echoing Deeps, so Conduit Pylons. We have several ETB triggers. We have Amulet of Vigor triggers, 2 Conduit Pylons, untap triggers first. Then with 2 Conduit Pylon triggers, I'd like to respond to that by cracking Windswept Teeth and search my library for a basic forest. I'm fine with the Wanshi trigger afterwards. We have 2 Surveil triggers, Eldar Shepherd, the forest comes into our graveyard. Make 1 green mana with forest. And then I will tap Crystal Vein for 1 to use the filter ability of Comet Pawns to make another green. I still have to do it no matter what. Okay. I will tap this for a colorless, so the tech wasn't even techy here. And crack the Game Mode Battleground for 2 green. 3 of the green and 1 colorless, cast a Scape Shift.
Rustic Studies.
Feel free to draw.
Priority's not to me, but I'm passing on. It's to me. Hold
I
on.
could only offer draw with that, otherwise I pass.
I will sacrifice everything besides 1 forest. Mirror Pool, Lotus Field, Command Beacon, From Vestige, Hickory Woodlot. I actually have to take a Tabernacle here, because in case I'm getting now stopped, I still have leverage to not die, I guess. We have 1 Jeton trigger, 5 untap triggers, and 1 Crumbled Vestige and 1 Lotus Field trigger. Untap this enters with 2 counters on it, I think we can remember that. Those triggers, with Crumbled Vestige, I'm getting on it to be a green mana. Tap it for 3, so we're up to 5. Tap Hickory Woodlot for 2. I will just sacrifice Lotus Field and my Snow-Covered Forest. Tap this for a colorless, pay 1 colorless, 2 green, another 2 green, activate Mirror Pool, target Lumra, a copy of Lumra, state-based action, real Lumra dies, ETP trigger on the stack, Buried Rune, Forest, Ghost Quarter, we get them all back. Just so I'm telling you up front, I can now present a loop where I keep on sacrificing with Lotus Fields and, for example, City of Traders, 5 mana to infinitely activate my Mirror Pool and target my Lumra to mill out my entire library. I will repeat this process until I find Aftermath Analyst and Shifting Woodlands. At one point I will find also my Field of the Dead and Gas Cradle. When this all is in play, find my Sylvan Safekeeper, because in between every single ETB I will sacrifice some lands. And then when Aftermath Analyst and Sylvan Safekeeper are in my graveyard, Galas, Gas Cradle and Field of the Dead plus Shifting Woodlands are in play. At this point I have probably like 20-30 zombies. And then I will use 4 mana to activate Shifting Woodlands, making a copy of Aftermath Analyst. Then I hope that makes Sylvan Safekeeper. Then I sacrifice like 10 lands, including the Gas Cradle. After I tap it for 20 mana, it will resolve. And then after the Aftermath Analyst is a Shifting Woodlands, I will sacrifice it with the mana from Gas Cradle and return at least the lands I need to continue this loop. Gas Cradle, Field of the Dead, because I need only 8 mana and Delirium is already active. With that I can present infinite mana. Then I will just search with, for example, Urza's Cave or any tutor land from my library. Sunscorched Desert.
Okay, there it is.
And with that,
Alright.
I'll just
If you get Sunscorched Desert, and you
ping you to that.
Wait. Yeah, that's what
everything else is just extra.
Sorry that I explained it in depth. It's just because Lumra can still die if you mill yourself out and someone tries to let you draw a card. And with this loop, I don't draw anymore.
Yeah, no, I got... Nobody's got anything to make you draw, I don't think.
But
GG.
I had to push here. There was no other play for me. We already knew Kodama could potentially just win in his turn. Jhoira was way too far out of the game and THRAS was just trying to build up his board state, but because no one was casting anything significant, it just didn't do anything for him. So this was the reasoning why I had to push on turn 3. Actually, I was thinking about getting with crop rotation a Tabernacle, but the moment I saw, okay, I will not get another turn, especially because he just taps his creatures and his lands and he still has 3 mana left. With his Sage, I had no other option to push here, because I don't know how Kodama Sakashima works, and I know it doesn't get better for me, especially because THRAS keeps on drawing cards. Not gonna lie, I could have just made a short with this gameplay, but I owe you guys at least one single video a week. So with that, I hope you enjoyed today's content, and please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because I want to create content with other content creators, but apparently I'm still too small, so other people ignore me or something like that. TBH, I just want to play Lumra and show other people how cool this deck is. With that, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and this shit is gas, by the way. Not sponsored, but I'd probably take even 1 can per week just to be sponsored by them. I don't fucking know. Have a good one. Bye bye.